Dungeon Crawler Network presents Tales of Tamriel.
Greetings, Dungeon Crawlers, and welcome to Tales of Tamriel, episode 132. I am your host, Aggelos, and with me this afternoon, or evening, or whatever day it is, or time it is, I have no idea anymore, that would be Arkhaniir. Arky is still there. I hope so. I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh, I was muted. I'm here. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, not great. I'm sleepy, but other than that, yeah.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. So, sorry for those who were watching earlier and we said we were going to go live and then it seemed like we weren't. Well, we thought we were. Twitch is having some issues, so I'm going to try to monitor it closely while we are playing, and, we'll go from there. So if anyone notices any Twitch failures, let us know, and I'll get on that right away. So I'm not really sure what was going on. And today you may notice that our UI is slightly different, because today is going to be a different kind of show than previous weeks. This week we are getting back to our roots, if you will. And we are going to talk some news a little later on in the show, of course. But we are going to get back into what Tales of Tamriel was about originally, which is just that, Tales in Tamriel. So, this week, normally it'll probably be the same, like our overlay will be the same as normal, but Arkhaniir was like, I'm tired, I'm going to fall asleep, I don't want people to see me sleeping between sentences, so...
Yeah.
Here we are, and we're in game. So, there we go.
Apparently, I'm too quiet, by the way. So I'll adjust my gain along the way.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Bump it back up to where you were, and we'll go from there. So, there we go. All right. So, before we begin, and actually, Zealot says not, so maybe it might be the individual who's in chat. So welcome, chat room. Thank you so much for showing up today. And I also want to thank the sponsors of the Dungeon Crawler Network over at our Patreon, patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. It's because of you that we continue to do this show. So thank you so much for your support. You guys are the best. So Ark, it's been a few weeks, and I know we've had issues getting to our gameplay section. So switching back to, what Tales really was, it's going to be something that's very different. Not really very different, but different from what we've been doing the past few weeks or months at this point. So, gameplay, Ark. Why don't you go ahead and you go first? Well, what have you been doing? Where have you been adventuring in Tamriel?
Wow, actually, for the last couple of weeks, I haven't been doing much, but... I actually barely logged into Elder Scrolls Online, but since we haven't done this in a while, I've been playing in European Mega Server for a long time. I got my European character there to, if I remember correctly, 250 champion points.
Ooh.
Other than that, I've been farming gold, which is going very slowly because the market has stopped. No one's buying anything. Everyone is hoarding money for the housing.
Right.
So I can't sell anything. And if I can't sell anything, I don't want to play because that's all. It's all about.
It's all about making the money.
Yeah. It's all about making the money. So
I see. All right.
But I do have a story of poor RNG that I believe anyone except you, who has the highest RNG in Wings of Fate, can relate. Okay. So, a couple of weeks ago, we were farming with my friend. I was at his house, so it's kind of a LAN party thing. And we were farming Mother Sorrow at Deshan. We are doing the boss, the world boss, the Dolmen, and the was it the Dell?
You were doing
trio.
the Mother Sorrow farm?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So we are doing the 3 boss runs.
okay.
So it's a pretty high drop rate when you do 3 different bosses in 5 minutes. The problem was, we kept getting the same items. Breaches of Mother Sorrow, Waste of Mother Sorrow, Jerkin of Mother Sorrow. Same items. But every single time, he got it in either Infused or Divines. And I got it in Well-Fitted or Prosperous. Every single time. Like, it happened once, and I was like, okay, I mean, at least I got a Well-Fitted. And it happened again, and I was like, oh, okay. 3rd time, 4th time. I think after the 7th or 8th time, I threw something to his head. I don't know what. It was just, there was something on the table, and I just threw it in his face. So, you remember how you said it's normal for an average player to have 4 million gold?
Oh, yeah. I believe those words were uttered by me, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if your RNG is like me, you don't get 4 million gold. You don't get anything. Everything that drops doesn't sell. So you end up with all these would have been expensive items that doesn't sell at all. So that's my poor RNG story.
Oh,
And that happens all the time.
really?
Yeah. I don't get drops in Infused or Divines after maybe like 50 times.
I don't think I have that high of drop rate. I mean, I still haven't got any Akatosh pieces. To be fair, though, I haven't run Maul, so I mean, it's kind of hard to get it when you don't run it. So I don't know.
Oh.
But my RNG should be so high that I should just get it anyway, right? Isn't that how that works?
You'll probably get all 5 pieces in just single run. I don't trust you. You are bribing ZeniMax Online.
I highly doubt that's the case, because I think we talked earlier that I am not the friend of Zos anymore. So I think they hate me at this point. So
maybe that's the cover you are making people to think.
I'm clearly thinking they don't like me anymore because I've been critical of some of their choices they've made in the past, so I feel like they are not my friends anymore. Maybe not. Maybe they could send me a love letter. I'd appreciate that, preferably from Lawrence Schick. I mean, sorry, Jess and Gina, you're lovely ladies, but my heart belongs to Lawrence. So, lore master.
He's the Sheogorath. He's the real life Sheogorath.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's the best compliment I can come up with.
I see people in chat right now, which is really funny, are saying about 4 million. I don't see how people don't have this amount of money. I mean, I feel kind of poor at the moment because I'm sitting at like 3.5 mil. So I'm like 200k shy of being able to buy the manor. Now, given I hadn't been playing super actively or doing pretty much anything besides our events, so I've been very, I guess what's the word, self-contained. Like I haven't been trying to do a whole bunch, so I haven't been earning money. But once I decided to put my mind to it, I've been getting quite a bit. Don't look at me, guard. Anything else?
I did have a dream just before the show, before I wake up, because I was thinking about the fact that I didn't have much tails, and that ended up forcing my brain to have its own tails while I was dreaming.
Okay.
So I was in Eastmarch, I believe. I'm not sure, but it was snowy and it was in Skyrim, so I think it was Eastmarch. And there was an entire survival thing going on with against the cold and hunger. So in my dream, I decided to hunt some tigers. I don't know why why would I eat a tiger? But it was dream. So
Hey, I mean, I'd eat it. Meat's meat, right?
So then I went into stealth.
Okay.
Tried to pull one tiger, but ended up pulling the mob group.
Oh no.
But since it was more realistic than the game, it was a challenge. So suddenly, the view from being first person, my view, went into the game view. So I was actually using spiked armor, choking talons, and all that to kill the mobs. But I was, when in Elder Scrolls Online you kill something and if you don't loot it, there is a yellow outline around it.
Yeah.
So I was completely focused on that because I killed some of the tigers, but for some reason I wasn't able to loot them until the combat was over, like when you try to get a node or something.
Yeah, right.
So while I was killing the last tiger, some guy came and looted everything and ran away.
It was probably me.
And I woke up angry.
I would.
I woke up angry at the guy.
I would
I was
be.
like, I worked hard for those tigers. They were mine.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's my non-existent Tales, I guess.
All right. Interesting. One other thing we are planning on doing, but because I know we haven't done one of these in a while, Arkhaniir has logged into the North American mega server, and I miss him. But in the future, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do like a quest analysis where we play through a quest and talk about it and talk about the lore and everything around it as well. So keep that in mind. That'll probably be coming here in the future for weeks where we don't have so much to go on. But, yeah. Now, I've done quite a bit in the game since we've last done a Tales because I've been playing quite a bit again and making my way through Reaper's March. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit. As you can see, I'm kind of sitting there now anyway, and I'm playing through some of these quests and reading them as I go along. But I don't want to talk about Reaper's March just yet, because I was doing a few things that are more meta than just story, and we're going to talk about that. Every Thursday night, we do our Imperial City night, so I do encourage people in the Wings of Fate guild to show up, and if you're looking for a guild that has some fun activities, check us out on the North American PC side. We're always accepting new players, looking for people who want to play the game, and yeah, fun times ahead.
You can't advertise that as fan activities anymore, so I'm not there.
Well, see, that's your fault. You just need to log in. I'm just gonna WhatsApp you at night and be like, "Wake up, we're doing stuff." So you're gonna get even less sleep than you did before. So
I mean, I'll see the next term. If I can somehow empty the other day, which is for me, I'll probably come back. But I don't know.
Okay, all right, I see. All right, well, but yeah, we were doing the Imperial City night, and we've done this a couple times in the past few weeks because it's one of my favorite events that we do. Not just because I'm the one leading it. In fact, I actually tend to feel like I like when other people lead events because then I could just sit back and just enjoy rather than having to lead. But there's something about the Imperial City that I just adore. Like, absolutely adore the Imperial City. Mostly because it, like I said, reminds me more of... I just jumped down a well. That's actually kind of neat. I didn't realize that was something I could do. No, like legit. Like I just jumped down a well. Like I was supposed to go help some guy fight rats. The obvious beginner quest here or whatever. And I saw a well and I walked up to it. It's like, hey, inspect well. I inspect well, and here I climbed in it, and I fell down into a cave full of bandits. So I mean, that's a thing. And I don't know what the bandits are doing. What are they? Skooma bandits? It looks like they're skooma dealers. That's kind of neat. Yeah, they're clear. Like I'm over here, and there's clearly there's sugar cane here on this desk, and they're making skooma. I like skooma. I mean, what? Anyway, as I was saying, I like the Imperial City because a lot of it reminds me of some of the older school MMOs like Ultima Online that I used to play. because it has, not free for all combat, because there still is the faction system in place, but there is the chance that other people could come and kill you, and there's that risk versus reward with the Telvar stones that you could, in theory, lose a little bit of progress. So, I mean, it's something neat that I really enjoy about it. Now, we were running around, and I do tend to stream these live, so if you can't play with us, or you don't play on Imperial or Ebonheart Pact, I don't know why that would be, but you don't. And you want
Bad
to
choices in life.
I know, right? Well, can't help everybody. But like, if this is something where you're like, hey, I really want to, experience, you can always, throw us on in the background and watch while you're playing or whatever. So, but I stream that every Thursday night as well, and it's nice. We have a nice little group that always shows up. Love to get some more people involved. Absolutely love to see some more people involved. But we were running around, and Gallisner showed up, and he decided he was going to try a different build. And he's always been this stamina DK, very heavily focused on PvP. That's what he likes. He prefers PvP over everything else. All of his builds are very PvP focused, and a lot of his builds are on our DungeonCrawlerNetwork.com. So if you want to check out some of those, you can always do that. He has like several variations with different gear sets and different things that he likes to do. So I'm kind of always used to him playing the very in-your-face kind of PvP guy. Well, he decides, I'm going to try healing. So he's trying to level up his restoration staff. So he's leveling it up for one thing. And like, so that already has me kind of like, what's going on here? So it was weird. A lot of times he wasn't talking because he's so trying to concentrate on healing that I felt like he just disconnected. So that was really weird. Yeah. It was.
Did he heal though? Did his build work?
Sorry, Galsner. It did okay. And I think a lot of it was the fact that his restoration staff wasn't even leveled up all the way. So
that makes sense.
There's needs some refinement. But also several of the people who are there, we experienced a lot more PvP last Thursday than we did the following week. The following week there was hardly any. But this week there was a lot of bananas out and about. The Murray Dominion were out playing around a lot last night, to the point where, like, when we went up into the districts, there were tons. Like, they owned every single one of the districts. So we were walking around grabbing it and fighting our way through, but it was very difficult. Because as soon as we would take a section, they'd come right behind, take it back, and then there were quite a few of them. So sometimes we'd win, sometimes we wouldn't. It was very, we didn't get crushed a lot, but we also, didn't win every time either because they had more numbers than us. We had like 5 people, but that was about it. They had like 12, so that was different.
5 to 12. That even winning sometimes is good enough, I guess.
Well, we never won when they had 12. When it was even numbers, we won, or we're very close. It was very close.
See, that's because Galskner, he didn't run his usual build.
Well, that is true, and I didn't have
Also,
my PvP gear on. Yeah, and you weren't there, so there was a lot of things playing against us that night, but it was still a lot of fun. We went down into the sewers at that point. We never made it to the center because, again, PvP was more than normal, and we go from 9 till 11, so it gives us about 2 hours or so, which is generally enough time to get in there and do everything that we need to do. Because what we do is we go up top first and do the districts, and then we go down and do the clear to the center, do the Molag Ball Simulacrum event, and then make our way back. And that's generally a night, right? But that did not happen. Just because I don't know, just too much PvP that night, and we just couldn't get down. Like, even it took us way longer than it should have to clear the districts, because when we do the districts, we pick up the daily quests that are there, do all the daily quests, and hunt down all of the world bosses in each district. That's what we do, and it nets us a fairly nice supply of Telvar stones. And then after we do that, we go to the sewers and we do that clear. But we got wiped a few times down in the districts, so it was a lot of running back and forth to try to get back to the districts and do things that we needed to do. So,
and you can't spawn anymore at the districts if you don't own it yet.
No, you can't.
Right?
If you own a district, you can spawn at that district, but if not, you go into the sewers. Or your sewer base, I should say. So, and what was happening was we were clearing, we were doing the quest, and then we'd die and get sent to a different district that we owned. So then we'd try to do the quest there, and then we'd try to make our way back, and then eventually it got to the point where we're like, all right, let's just go downstairs, because they're kind of ruling the districts right now. It's just a waste of time. Then we made it down and almost we did make it to the center. Like, we were in the center, but they had a group of like 15 people waiting down there, and they were already clearing the event. So they took care of us. And so we ended that. So we ended the Imperial City night a little early, because it's just like, listen, it's almost 11. We're not going to clear back down there, and the event will be down for a little while. So that was that night. So, I mean, it was fun. It's always fun. I walked away with like 4K Telvar stones, which is not bad at all. Yeah, you know, I could have had more, but I didn't. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Following that, going back in time a little bit, because we didn't do trials on Friday night, as per our wont, or at least I didn't, because we normally do them 9 p.m. Eastern, but there was some timing issues, and a few of our normal people could not make it due to various situations. So they were going to run a little later, but it started getting pretty late, and so I went to bed. But last week, I got to run with the guild, and we did Hellra and Aetherian Archive, so that was a lot of fun. But then the week before, it was a little later in the week, I ran with, I got a message from our one of our officers in the guild, Kilted, who is part of a few other guilds, and he's like, hey, are you interested in doing some veteran Sanctum Ophidia? And I said, sure, why not? I wasn't doing anything right at that point, so I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll go with. They had already cleared a little bit, like a few of the bosses. That they were up to the, what was her name? They were up to the Lilamia boss, so they cleared a little while. Like, they'd been in there for a while, a couple hours, and so I joined, and we got through her. And we actually cleared Sanctum Ophidia, which was really funny, because we were in there for a while. We were doing the boss, and every time he was doing the Earth Shatter, people were dying. It wasn't going overly well. It wasn't terrible, but it was clearly sloppy. And one of the people that was in there, we lost like 2 people, so we replaced them. And then one of our tanks back there, he's like, yeah, I think I'm done for the night. We've been here for like 3 hours. And it was funny, because we had gotten the guy down to like 10%, or, you know, like really low, and we're all hyped up. And he's like, you know what? I'm kind of done for the night. So he left, and we're like, let's continue. So we pulled in Zephin. So shout out to Zephin. I know he's a faithful listener of the show, and so shout out to Zephin. So Zephin showed up, and we're fighting the serpent. And what's really funny is that very next run, it was flawless. Oh, Ark's in the stream, and he's naked, and doing Dance Redguard.
the only reason I came all the way here.
Yeah, it makes sense. I see that. So the other guy left. You could continue to follow me, but we're not gonna stand just do dance Redguard all night. Sorry, I'm gonna kill this chicken though, because death to chicken. Oh, I'm sitting here. Something just started to shoot me, and it's these smugglers, like these skooma smugglers, and it was just funny because I killed a chicken, and all of a sudden I started getting attacked, and I'm like, "Whoa! Did I get seen by a guard?" And no, it's just NPC.
And people say this doesn't feel like an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah, right.
What is more Elder Scrolls than killing a chicken and suddenly everyone is trying to kill you?
Why am I being attacked so much?
I'm definitely not pulling creatures towards you.
Oh, I'm sitting here going, there was nothing around me. What is going on? Okay, it makes sense now. I see. Yeah. But yeah, the very next pool, it was like flawless. It was hilarious. We actually downed it that next try. And no one died to earth shatter. It was like everyone was dodging exactly when it needed to happen. It was just really funny to see because the guy's like, I'm done. I'm giving up, And given the previous night had been or the previous attempts had been sloppy. Like a lot of our attempts were while we were fighting, there was a lot of trying to restore where we were. Like, let's res the dead pretty much every time there was an earth shatter. There was a lot of it, right? So that's what we tried to work on. And the next time it was flawless. So I actually got my Sanctum Ophidia veteran kill, which was really cool. So now I have a new die. And yeah.
I don't think I've done any veteran trials yet.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't done any.
I really do enjoy the veteran trials. Like, they are fairly difficult, right? So
I should try it sometime.
You should, and you should come on the North American Mega Server.
But if you can fix the 8-hour difference somehow, I don't know, if you move the sun or something, I don't know, I can do that. But until then, unless I move to Canada or America, that won't be the case.
There you go, Ark. You can just move here.
Find me a job, and I will.
All right, I'll done. I'm gonna start doing some contacts. That's what's gonna happen. Got a lot of IT contacts. We'll have to talk about your resume after this. We'll talk.
My resume includes best dance red guarding guy in the Tamriel. That should get me something.
Clearly, that is the only thing that really matters.
I mean, I don't know, I should apply to Microsoft or something as CEO. Just do a dance red guard.
Just do dance red guard. Clearly, I am invaluable to this company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. And then following that, I've been doing a lot of questing now I have to pull up my map here in game because I've been doing a lot of questing in Reaper's March, which is the final zone of the gold content. And I've actually finished all the gold content. So I mean, last time we spoke, I was in Arathena, clearing out Colovians and stopping the Dark Main infestation there. Making my way south all the way to Rock Lobster, of course, and following the Two Moons path. It was really neat to see the Two Moons path in Moonmont. For anyone who hasn't done the quest, it's really good. Now it's very Khajiit. This entire zone is heavily Khajiit, which is cool because I like the Khajiit. They're probably my favorite Dominion race. I just love them, and the idea of the Dark Main being like this primordial dark essence. And I know they talk about the Dark Main in this quest, how it's from outside the void. So outside the Erebus, so that's where it came from. So I'm interested to see the lore of the Dark Main and try to dig more into that, because I'm sitting here going, oh, well, if that's the case, what would it be, right? Like, if it came from outside of Mundus, the mortal plane, Erebus, the outside of Aetherius, the void, where like Anu and Padme wrestle themselves out of time. What is it? Is it a lesser spirit? Like, what is going on there? It's just fascinating to me, and it's something that I really wanted to try to dig deeper into. So I'm going to try doing that over the next few weeks, because I'd really like to talk about the Dark Main. My little Nordling is upstairs, and he's not very happy right now. But there's a
choice about the fact that you are questing in Aldmeri Dominion.
I have to. It's the last place, and then I'm done with all the gold content in the game, at least on my main. So,
by the way, apparently my friend in chat doesn't know what a Dance Red Guard is, so whenever you can, just...
I will, as soon as I'm done reading through this this little bit of commentary that's going on, I will definitely turn to you so you can regale him with Dance Red Guard. Alright, I'm just going to zoom in to first person, because this is something that's required. Alright, first person.
Khajiit broke my dance.
She did. She walked right through. So this beautiful, beautiful thing that he's doing right now is Dance Red Guard. A more splendid thing has never graced thine eyes than a big, hulking, naked Nord doing Dance Red Guard. So feast your eyes upon the dancing nakedness that is the Red Guard. You have incredibly thick thighs, sir. Just saying.
Well, I mean, that's years of fighting, being werewolf, and a lot of mead.
Chat room saying I can't unsee that. So, yeah. This brought to you by Tales of Tamriel, naked Nord, Red Guard dancing.
I mean, this is completely culturally acceptable, authentic dance of the fine people of Alakir Desert. Nothing wrong with it.
Clearly, except for the naked Nord doing it. All right. I'm just going to try to get away from that. The story of the two moons and Mormont, like you meet these, or Moonmont, I said Mormont. You meet these two Khajiit. They are twin cubs who were both born under the correct lunar cycle for a main. So they've been walking the path, and when you're doing the quest of the dark main, there was already Akuzri is her name. No, his name. That is the current main of the Khajiit people, but he becomes possessed by the spirit of the Dark Main and is just causing havoc through Reaper's March, and you have to lead these. He steps down, like after you like pretty much exorcise the demon that's within him. You need to. He steps down as being the main. He feels like he is no longer worthy of being the main, and therefore you get to help pick the next main. And it's odd because it's the only time where there's been two cubs born under the same sign to be considered for the main. So there's these two female Khajiit, and it's really neat because when you get to Moonmont, because there was only two, you become what's known as the Moon Hollowed, and you have to make a choice about who is going to become the next main. I don't want to get too much into it for spoilers, and I know a lot of people probably have already done this quest, so I don't know if what I would say would be deemed not. So what I'm going to say is if you haven't done Reaper's March, skip ahead 1 minute in the track because I'm going to talk about it briefly. So skip ahead now for anyone who's not done it. So,
can I skip ahead 1 minute?
No, you actually have to listen. It's your fault you didn't get there. Sorry.
Okay.
you actually have to choose when you go in the temple to walk the path. Like the first quest you do with them, you have to let them face like their past fears and stuff like that, which is so you get to know the characters, which is really cool. But then when you get to this temple and purge the Domathra taint that is protruding from this temple, the Dark Mane tries to escape, and it turns out that one of them has to become the vessel for the Dark Maw, or the Dark Mane, and to contain him within their own body, locked inside the temple. So you have to make a choice between which one that you want, and then the other one walks the Two Moons path to become the next Mane of the Gajiti. It's really neat. So,
these kind of decisions, what makes Elder Scrolls Online quests so I don't know what word would I use, but so intense, I guess.
No, that's a good one, because we talked about this very, very early on in Tales of Tamriel's life, about how the thing with Elder Scrolls is no matter what choice that you supposedly make, you never are sure which is good or which is bad. Like, you might think you're making one good choice, but you come to find out that what you did is, even worse than what you thought the other person. It's like choosing between, do I kill this person and spare this town, or do I let them kill this town and leave? And you're like, well, obviously I'm going to save the town, so I'm going to kill this one guy. One death for an entire town. Well, then it turns out that the reason why I wanted to kill the town is because they were like a cult of like Molag Bal worshippers, and they call down like dark anchors on all of Tamriel, and millions die. And you're like, oh.
that went wrong.
Yeah, that did not turn out how I thought it was supposed to. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of those things where it's like, ooh, I don't know. It's definitely one of those, I wish I would have made a different choice, but I didn't, so now I'm in trouble. But, yeah, no, it's something that I really like about the Elder Scrolls in general, is because you have those tasks, if you will, and hopefully you don't mess up. But it was a hard decision. Well, I shouldn't say it was too hard of a decision. I've made harder ones before, but it's because while I was playing these, I wasn't overly attached to either one of them. It was more or less one of those things where one of them was a fighter and one of them was a mage, and they almost felt too generic overall, to where I just didn't feel like it was a choice. It's just, which one did I not want? Some of the other ones were far worse, such as the keep fight in Balfoyan, where you have to decide whether you're going to that one is heart-wrenching.
Especially after knowing what happens.
Oh, yeah.
After doing the quest for the second time with a different character, it's just that. But probably the hardest decision I took in the game is that quest. During that quest, either the docks or the keep, Raj, or I can't remember the name. Sergeant Sanye, was it?
Yeah, Sergeant
the Dummer.
Yeah. But yeah, that was difficult. And I'm actually going to have to skip this quest, which is kind of sad because I don't have the sounds up, and I have to stop a ritual from happening. But in order to stop the ritual, you have to listen. And I'm like, well, I'll come back to that after the stream because I don't have the sounds up. So if anyone was wondering why in the stream I'm just sitting there trying to, stop a ritual and stop all these ghosts, I couldn't do it anymore because I'm sitting there going, I'm turning the stuff around, but nothing is working the way it should. So off to do something else. Yeah, I just really I'm loving the Khajiit people in this one. Like, Reaper's March is definitely one of the highlight zones for me of Aldmari Dominion. Probably because I'm away from all the knife ears, but other than that, like I don't know. I like the look of it. The the Serengeti kind of look with the Khajiit. So I really like it, and of course the story of the Main and following the Domathric taint throughout the land is really, really cool. So, yeah, that's actually what I've been doing mostly overall, other than trying to earn gold, of course, for housing. I'm kind of in a dilemma because I'm not sure what house it is I really want to buy. I almost have enough for the manor, the big one, but I don't like any of them. I guess I shouldn't say that. I probably want to look at them closer. But in terms of style, the manors, there's only the Daggerfall Keep, which I gotta say is probably my favorite, because we saw that castle back in episode 120 arc, where we did the housing episode, where you and I,
or something like that.
Was it that far back? It was a while ago. Because I guess it would have been. We had, when they started putting assets into the game, of the housing, like early on, they're like, listen, in the next couple of patches, you're going to see houses come into the game that you can't go into. This is in preparation for Homestead. And so we were doing that. And one of those episodes, we tried to explore all the houses. That was definitely a fun episode. I really enjoyed that one. It was probably the last time we did like a stream while playing. Because we haven't done that in a while. So trying to get this locked before whatever it is that's attacking me is going to hit me. Oh, I think I got it. Woo!
They're attacking me.
Oh, okay. Because I seen the flashing red, and I'm like, oh, something's going to hit me soon, and I'm in the middle of lockpicking. But no, it's cool. So, yeah, that was cool. So we already saw the Daggerfall Keep, at least from the outside, right? And I mean, it's pretty standard. If you look at them, it's essentially Wayrest's palace is what it is. So if you want to see it without downloading the PTS, just go to the Wayrest Castle, and where Emmerich is, King Emmerich, and walk around. That's essentially what you'll be buying. So I mean, I like that. I'm location wise, like, I'm not real big on the Morrowind landscape. Just because I'm a Nord, so lava everywhere, I don't deal with heat real well. But the chateau is gorgeous. But again, I'm not real big on
chateau is it feels, I don't know, too dark. Like you would have to be an edgy edgelord to live there. I don't know. It feels not fun. But yeah, I agree with the Daggerfall Overlook. It's probably the best in all three manors, especially because it actually has a view rather than giant walls. You can actually there's actually a balcony like area to it that looks into the Daggerfall Bay, so that's a nice addition. And
they did actually, another thing that they talked about is there's a tower that that was not available in the PTS, like you couldn't really go into it. Well, apparently they're making that the ability to go into it now, so you'll be able to get into a tower and overlook Stonefalls. So I'm kind of torn about that, because both of them are almost 4 million apiece, so it's not like it's a small amount of money. Not overly hard to get in game, but it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not I want to try for that or not. Now, again, you can buy all the houses in the game over time, which I plan on doing. I'm just going to be like a mass overlord in Tamriel. But just deciding which I want first is kind of difficult, right?
You want Daggerfall Overlook, trust me.
I'm
not saying that because I'm going to just sneak into your house and use it like it's my own, but you want Daggerfall.
Well, I know a lot of people have been saying that. Robot Dancer has been squealing like a little girl when I said you can decorate the house because she's like, I can't afford one of the big manors. I'm like, well, I'm going to buy one. You can just decorate mine. She's like, so she's already been planning that.
I'm going to build my own tower from furniture, like a table tower for my own.
I did see someone had done that. That was really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I guess there you go. You could do that. But that's kind of what I'm feeling like right now. Like I'm not sure what I want to do. Cuz I did want one of the big houses just because it's one of the big houses, but I'm not overly fond of all the styles, and there's not a chateau of every single race. There's only one per faction. There's only one chateau per faction, and for Ebonheart Pact, it's
Dunmer.
It's the Dunmer. And then for Daggerfall, of course, it's a Breton, which does look cool, and I do like the Bretons. But then there's also, what is the other issue? The other one is Khajiit, which I do love the Khajiit style of architecture. It's very kind of like Indian subcontinent looking, very cool. I do appreciate that. But that's not something while I appreciate the look, it's not something where I'd be like, yeah, this is what I want to be my main house forever, right? Just because I'm like, I don't know.
That's what you get for throwing skooma parties.
Yeah, right? I like it. So yeah, there is that. So none of the Nord houses I was overly impressed with, because some of them they essentially just look like the giant taverns. And I'm like,
Yep. I mean, the inner design, the structure of the houses is actually just the same as everything else in the game, and that kind of upsets me.
Cameraman in chat pretty much just said we're all running the same dilemma regardless of our budget, and the rumor of 6 additional houses in Vardenfell. Yeah, I hear you with that. I know they, at least for the initial housing, for Homestead, they only wanted to do homes within
DLC.
The normal DLC, or what you get in the base game, essentially, which is all the zones in Craglorn. That way, there's no house that's outside of the reach of any player at start, all right? Especially if they came in. Hopefully they change that policy, because I would love to see some homes in Hrothgar.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love Hrothgar as a zone, because of course it's very similar to where I live. I'm very northern, and that's what I like for aesthetic on the outside. And I would love to see something along those lines. So something that I'm hoping they do. But I'm also really torn, because one of my favorite architectures in the game, and anyone who knows me personally knows that I have a huge fascination with Roman history. So, of course, the Imperials are some of my favorite group of people. I'm kind of disappointed, and we're actually going to talk about when we get to the news. I'm disappointed that all the houses that are the Imperial are of Colovian architecture, which is more Gothic-esque, so more Frankish inspired instead of Greco-Roman. So that we'll talk about in a little bit. But there's a large house in Reaper's March, which is in Colovian style, and I've been eyeing that one up. So I would prefer the Greco-Roman, but the Greco-Roman is pretty much what you see in the Imperial City, whereas Colovian is just that. It's Colovian, so it's kind of more Kavachi area. So I don't know. It is what it is, and that's the dilemma I'm currently gotten. You do need the Imperial Edition in order to get those houses. I bought the Imperial Edition collectors back when the game first came out, so that's not a problem for me. But something to keep in mind. I really love the Imperials, and it's something that I was kind of hoping that I would see a chateau of them, but I haven't. So I'm kind of like holding my money, if you will, because I'm like, I want a house, but how long until they offer new houses and I can get something different? Because I'm not really in love with any of them. So I think that's the end of our tales, which is pretty nice. It's one of the longest we've gotten. Like I said, we're going back to our roots for this, because Elder Scrolls news is becoming less and less a thing. There's less and less news to go around, and everyone covers it. So we're kind of looking at things we can do so that we don't have to just rely on news, and that you can come back for content that is more renewable than listening just to news. And of course, conversation being what it is, we've hit a lot of our discussion topics and stuff like that we've hit early on. No need to go over them again unless Zos does something else. So this will probably be closer to the format we have going forward. So hopefully people enjoy that kind of thing, listening to what we're doing in Tamriel, living in Nirn. So now we're gonna.
I'll get more. I should get more.
Yeah.
ESO time as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making a concerted effort to get a lot more time, and you just been super busy, so I'm sure we'll both be there.
Oh yeah. So, do I open the news now?
Yep. That's going to be our transition for news, because while we do talk about Tales as our primary focus within this podcast, especially going forward, we are also, we are going to cover news at the end of the show, because, like I said, we have a new podcast on the network called The Dungeon Crawlers, where a lot of our meta discussion for MMOs and stuff will be held there. So this podcast will be primarily focused on storytelling in Tales, as it was originally founded to be. So we are going to cover the news, though. News.
Okay, I got it. So, we have few quick dimensions, starting with the DDoS attacks on the servers at this. Is it this week? Was it last?
It was
weekend?
last
2
week.
Weeks ago.
It was last week, because we didn't have a show last week, and that was when we were going to do it. So it was 2 weeks ago. There was some, and it was weird because it was Saturday night, like it was prime time. And servers were going down left and right. Like, people were getting disconnected constantly. And it was caused by DDoS attacks.
This seems to happen frequently with Elder Scrolls Online, though. Because I remember at least a couple more DDoS attacks on ESO servers.
Manda Gray in chat. Hey, welcome.
Oh, hey.
I see her in chat, so I had to shout her out. But since she wasn't here early enough, she missed me talking about the fact that we got to play together for like the one time ever. So, sorry.
Never mind that. She missed the Dance Redguard.
She did miss Dance Redguard, too. And missed our announcement about the Tales. So she's going to have to go back and listen to the show again. Sorry. Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, DDoS attacks, they happen, and they're not fun.
They are not fun, but here's the thing I'm thinking. I don't know, and I could be completely wrong. This is all speculatory, but remember when Dyn DNS got attacked recently, and pretty much ESO lost service because they used Dyn DNS, for all of that. I feel like people aren't targeting ZeniMax directly so much as they're targeting the network infrastructure behind what ZOS uses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I could be wrong, but I just don't feel like ESO has a large enough audience. It does have a large audience, but it's not large enough that, I don't want to say people would take notice, but if you were a troll who was trying to deny service, what game would you want to deny? I can tell you which one I'd want to right now. That'd be Overwatch. Because that's where I'd get the most hate. You know what I mean? Like our League of Legends, or Dota. Oh. One of those. One of those games where when you log into Twitch, they're in the top 3. because that's where, if you really wanted to troll, those were the games I'd be targeting. If you look at ZeniMax right now, there's not a lot of stream coverage. Because, I mean, it's a popular game for the people who play it, but it's not near the popularity that is Overwatch or some of the MOBAs. So, like, if you were trying to troll a game and you wanted to get your name out there, there's better games. I'm thinking people are DDoSing a back-end network infrastructure, not necessarily ESO itself. And it just so happened that, you know, we get caught up in that purge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents. No one has come out and said, yes, this is what it is or what it's not. I'm just what I'm thinking. So, all right.
Oh, I lost my browser there. Okay, got it. Let's see. PTS Patch Notes 2.7.2. I'll just read the overview. The Elder Scrolls Online 2.7.2 adds additional balance tweaks and adjustments to all 4 classes, item sets, and other skill lines. We have also fixed a number of issues surrounding housing, furnishing, the editor, and furnishing crafting. Mm-hmm. You'll find that we have added developer comments to some patch notes that should help give you some insight as to why we have made the changes we did, which I like this. In this patch, we have copied all PC European characters for use in testing. Please note, we are still working on a fix for our players on Mac who are running into consistent game crashes. Thank you to everyone for feedback. It's 1.85. It's 185 megabytes in size.
It's not real big. This is a lot of the balancing changes going on. And one of the things that I really liked about it is... in the Alliance War, they increased the amount of AP for capturing resources, keeps, towns, and Imperial city districts. So that's really cool. Like, and it's like 1,500. It's a lot of AP. So now again, that's split among the people you do it with. So the more people, the less, whatever. There's factors with that, but that's the base amount. And I really like that kind of a change. They made some changes. For jewelry sets and Telvar boxes, the jewelry pieces obtained from the boxes will only contain the trait that matches their armor weight. So light armor sets will have arcane. So, like, if you pick up a set from Telvar boxes and get jewelry, it's not going to have robust. Medium armor sets will have robust, heavy armor have healthy. The Imperial physique will have all 3. So there you go. And I'm scrolling down here with the developer comments. One of the issues, like when they changed like fire grip for the Dragon Knight, they pretty much said to improve fire grip's reliability, we changed it to a projectile, and the push and pull and push cannot be dodged. This ensures that enemies using roll dodge or major invasion do not cause your fire grip cast to be wasted, and makes the empowering chains morph, which pushes you to the target, behave consistently with other charge abilities. The major expedition buff granted by it was reduced slightly to compensate, since fire grip is an unusual projectile due to being undodgeable and unreflectable. Its tooltip has been updated for additional clarity. So there is that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and there have been some changes. They changed the Fiery Whip for the Dragon Knight. Dragon Leap had some changes. Earth and Heart, Obsidian Shard had changes, and Stonefist had changes. Deathstroke for Night Blades. Path of Darkness, Twisting Path. Summoners and Haunting Curse, the Daedric Curse morph, had some changes. And... obviously, the Templar Adric Spear, Binding Javelin, and Biting Jabs have been changed. One of the things I like is Biting Jabs has had its cost reduced by like 20%, so yay for that. Blazing Spears, Crescent Sweep, Piercing Javelin, and Radical Sweep all have been changed. Backlash has some changes, and Radiant Destruction has had some changes. So there are a few changes for class and skill and weapon line, so make sure you check those out to see what has changed.
Oh, there is one that affects me. Black Rose, this item set now increases the magic hour stamina restored by Constitution passive by 35%, down from 40. So Black Rose got nerfed. Galaskner, we are in trouble. They are targeting us.
They're specific. Maybe that's why he was like, I'm going to change my build, because he's like, he knew Black Rose was getting nerfed. He's like,
I mean, he was considering Black Rose for the healer as well, since he would be, he was going for a tanky healer combination kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, if they are targeting Black Rose, I might have to change my set.
I see. Well, that's
Fun. Not fun.
Definitely not fun.
No, he's in chat.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, now he doesn't even have to listen to the show for that. He just is in chat and now realized Black Rose is getting nerfed. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah. All right, let's. If you're interested in those show notes, they're on the Elder Scrolls Online forum. So elderscrollsonline.com. Check it out.
Not show notes, patch notes.
We'll have them in the patch, or the show notes will have them as well. And you can find our patch notes in the pretty much what I said is true, because we do have a post for the episode there, and you can see our patch notes, which will have links to the show notes or whatever. Reverse that.
Yeah. Homestead release date announced, so that's... I actually forgot to check the article, so I don't know. It's, let's see. Move-in day is coming. We are excited to announce the Homestead. Our next update featuring player housing will launch on PC, Mac on Monday, February 6, and for consoles, it's February 21. As usual, consoles are getting it a couple weeks late, but it's there.
That's not even 2 weeks. It's 1 week from Monday. So this show will go live on Sunday for people to download. So if you're listening to this on like the RSS feed from iTunes or Google Play or whatever it is that you're listening to it on, it's especially if you downloaded it on Sunday, most people listen to it on Monday. So if you're listening to it right now on Monday, it's a week from now. So that's probably why people are hoarding all their money, because it literally is 1 week for PC. So, yeah, it is.
That's why I'm giving you 200k and just getting myself a room from your whichever house you're getting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I can tell you right now, I have to look at the Dunmer one, the Chateau, and when it goes live, I'm not going to buy it day one. I'm probably going to hop in and I'm going to inspect every single house.
Don't get the Dun.
I don't know, man. If it has a watchtower, that looks pretty awesome.
You can make your own watchtower with tables. Just stack tables upon tables, floating tables, and you have a tower. You don't need an actual tower. Actual towers are boring.
I guess.
One thing I'm going to do is...
All right, well, then let's go like this then. All right, let's do this. You want to donate 200k to me so I can afford and get the big house. Let's wait till
I can go up to 400.
You can go up to 400? All right.
Yep.
Are you saying that so I get the Daggerfall?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it like that then, because then we'll if we do that, I'll let you decorate a room. You can pick a room and you can decorate it. That'll be your room. I'll grant you decorate rights in the house, and you can decorate that room. And it can be your house.
Okay. So I'm fine with that.
Okay. So it looks like at this point I might end up be getting the Daggerfall one. So. Right.
But I might also put a floating arena somewhere flying over the keep.
Understood.
Can we duel in the houses?
I believe you can. There is some things though, like I know with the large houses there is a player limit, and I think large houses can only have like 12 people in it. That's the large. The chateaus I think are larger, but
I think that's 24. But what I was thinking is that we can make an arena that's floating high enough to, if you fall you'll die, and we can put empty spots on the ground. So when you are dodge rolling or something like that, you have a chance to just fall through one of those empty spots. So that's a death arena kind of thing. That's what I'm going to do.
That actually would be really cool to see. I mean, that would be really cool. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So yeah, that is what it is. So I'm excited for Homestead, and one of the reasons why I've been playing so much has been because I want money. Yeah, need money. Needs the monies in order to, get all my stuffs. So that is what it is. All right. So housing is coming in 1 week from when this podcast goes live, and like 8 days from, if you're watching it live.
Today.
So be prepared. And yeah. And, the Aggelos Manor is going to be open to all Wings of Fate Guild members. So you might have a place to hang out. Just saying. Join the guild. Be awesome. All right.
Another quick note is Metfire. How do you say?
Metfire. Yeah.
Metfire. Okay.
Yeah.
Metfire mentioned in the forums that the road ahead, the usual article that they share what they are planning for the next few months for Elder Scrolls Online, is just a couple weeks ahead. So,
yeah. I put that on there because one of the things we were talking about, other than Homestead, we really don't know where they're going next. We don't have any of that information. And it's been a long time since we've had a Road Ahead article, and people are like, where is our Road Ahead? And so now that's going to be coming up here in, as he said, it's one of those soon things, but it's nice to know that we're being thought of, I guess. Guess that's the best way to think about it, is we are being thought of, and it'll be in the next few weeks. So, yeah, I don't know. It's nice to know because, like I said, after housing, we have a lot of stuff that we know about, quote unquote, like Vardenfell, Clockwork City, Murkmire, things that have been either shown or data mined over the past year and a half, but we don't actually know what's being worked. Spell crafting, a bunch of stuff that we just don't know what they're planning on. So, the Road Ahead articles have always been nice because Matt has jumped on and kind of was like, okay, here's where we are, right? This is what we're planning on in the coming months for, like 2017 or whatever,
I mean, they're always a good read and provide some long-term discussions and everything. So it will be nice to have another The Road Ahead article.
Yes.
It's been a while, right? Like
it's been a long time. That's why a lot of people were complaining, going, "What are you guys even doing?" Right? Like, we have no idea. So that's something to keep in mind, that in hopefully the next few weeks we will see a Road Ahead article and have something to talk about. So that'll be a fun show.
Now, I don't know what this fifth thing in the show notes actually mean. Changing your user ID and email address from account page added.
Yes. I put that in there because it is something that was really cool. Once upon a time, you needed to contact support, like your @ name at Aggelos for me for in-game or whatever, or if you tied an email address to it, like I had tied another email address to this account because obviously, I'm trying to, early on, when people were signing up for alpha and betas and stuff like that, I had signed up, and like most people, on multiple email addresses. And when one of them got invited, now I got invited very early, I was like, well, this ain't my main email, so I kind of got rid of the other beta invitations and just was like, this is the one I want. But you had to contact them to change anything. You now have the option from the account page to change your username and email address. You no longer have to go, I picked, Dunmer Lover or Altmer Lover as my in-game name. Why you would do something so stupid, I don't know. But if you have, you can now go to your account page and simply go, okay, I want to change my name, and you can change it to whatever you want as long as it's not already taken, without having to contact customer support. So
Yeah, that's nice.
oh, it's very nice. It's not. It's a nice quality of life. It's nothing amazing where you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But it's nice that you don't have to put in a ticket, wait for customer support to come in and change it for you. All right.
So, our last bit of news is that the ZeniMax Online removed Colovian-style furniture from the game I think this was before 2.7.2?
I think it was with 2.7.2.
Oh, okay.
And now, here's the thing. The argument that they made when this came out, hopefully they changed it and reverted it back. But one of the reasons why they did this was to remove confusion. Because it was just called Imperial, which I don't know why they didn't just do Imperial hyphen Colovian. There's two styles that were currently in the game. One of them was Colovian, and the other one was Nibonese. Colovian style is very gothic looking. Pretty much the house that you're able to get in game is Colovian. It's very. If you look for real life inspiration, look at Gothic architecture in France and Germany and areas like that. Whereas the Nibonese architecture is very Greco-Roman, so it's the marble columns. Mm-hmm. So here's the problem with removing Colovian furniture. All the houses are Colovian. So when you're making Imperial style furniture, you're now making Greco-Roman looking furniture without a Greco-Roman house.
Yep.
So that's
which creates a contrast between the art of the stonework of both styles, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna try to bring this up on the stream. Give me just 1 second while I attempt to do this. Yeah, we're just gonna do a window capture. That's fine. Create a window capture.
And I just wish they removed all the Colovian architecture from the game altogether and just replaced it with all Nibonese. I love Nibonese architecture better.
I do as well. That's something that I prefer. Is Nibonese architecture. So now I have it up here on the stream. I'm just gonna move it and try to manipulate it a little bit, so that people can see what it is that I am talking about. So here it is up on the Reddit. It's right in the center of the screen, which is really annoying. So I'm gonna try to expand it out. All right, so. An example of the Colovian home, which I'm going to bring up here, an example of Nibonese home, Nibonese light post, comparisons, Colovian well, and white marble. Okay, so obviously here we're going to pull up this PNG, if it ever decides to load. There we go. So this is an example of the large Colovian house in Reaper's March. So as you can see, very Gothic looking, very France, Frankish in design. So there's that. Nibonese architecture is here, which you can see in the what is the name of the city in
Anvil?
No, Anvil maybe, but no, I'm thinking the city in Cold Harbor, the Hollowed City or whatever it's called.
Hollowed City.
Yes, that is all Nibonese architecture. And if you look at the screenshot that I have here, that is an example of the Nibonese structure. Very Greco-Roman. So
wait, is this screenshot from Anvil or Hollowed City?
I'm not honestly sure.
I think it's from Anvil. I gotta check. Anyway,
regardless of that fact, here's the problem. With them removing the Colovian style, here's the lamppost, which you can see it here placed on the Colovian style house. It is like, well, if you look here where my mouse is pointing, there's a huge contrast in color because you have this Gothic stone, which the stonework is different than the marble of the Nibonese style, and the color is just completely off. The style is off. The topper on the top of this thing is off because this lamppost is designed to go with the Greco-Roman Nibonese style, not the Colovian style. Showing the comparison between the lamps, the one that's crafted and the one that was part of the house, you can see the difference. And of course, here's a Colovian well, which we find in-game versus the Nibonese well that you can craft, which again is Greco-Roman. That is clearly Greco-Roman style, but if that's all you can craft, that's not going to fit in the Gothic architecture that is the Nibonese home. So,
I wonder why they removed the Nibonese one, Colovian ones, when they could simply remove the Nibonese one. I expect them to be just the same procedure. I wonder if they just made a mistake and confused which one to remove or something.
I hope that's the case, but I kind of wish that they just put Colovian style or Nibonese style houses in the game. But regardless of that, there is, if it was a mistake, I feel like it is something that needs fixed, right? Because you've seen in the screenshots that I had on the stream and on the video. So if you are a podcast listener, notes for this will be available in the show notes. So just head over to our website, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. Open up the episode title for this, and you'll find links. So check that out if you want to visually see the comparisons that I'm talking about. Please don't watch this video if you're driving. So yeah, that's something that, especially with housing right around the corner, is something that's like, hey, this needs to be talked about. Mm-hmm. So that is a thing.
I mean, hopefully they will fix it. I mean, it's not even a fix, basically. They'll just reinstall the Colovian style and get rid of the Nibonese one instead. So unless they have a specific reason other than mistaking the styles while removing the Colovian from the game, I don't see why they wouldn't fix this.
Yeah,
easily.
I honestly feel like this would be a mistake. Because if you were trying to... I don't think you even need to remove it, to be honest. But if you were just trying to remove it for consistency's sake, I think it was just a mistake. Like, someone's like, okay, we have two things that are marked as Imperial. Okay, I'll just... they ran a sequel script and it grabbed the wrong one.
Possible.
I don't know. Like,
or maybe another poor intern messed something up.
A poor intern... sitting there working 20 hours a day. He's like staring at code all day and goes, I don't, whatever, just delete. Did the wrong thing. Like, I could see that. I mean, it's obviously a clear mistake, but it's something that I'm hoping they fix before launch because unless Ark's giving me all this money, one of the houses I wanted to get was the Colovian house because I love the Imperial structure. And yeah, it is what it is. I would have a hard time decorating the house if I couldn't have, because I wouldn't want the Nibonese style in a Colovian style house.
Yeah, that's why you just get the Fall overlook and you don't have any of these
and you don't
problems.
have that problem anymore now, do you?
And I guess that's our news. That's the end of the news.
Yep.
But before we continue, we have the mailbag section. I'll remind you that.
Okay.
Before we forget.
Mailbag. Yes, and I apologize to the people who have been sending mail in. We have got a couple mail and iTunes reviews, which I do encourage people to go out and leave reviews. If you listen to any of our podcasts here at Dungeon Crawler Network, I encourage you to leave iTunes reviews because that helps us to get noticed. So if you want to help support us, and monetarily is not a way of doing it all the time. There are other ways. So if you want to support us and can't do it financially, you can do it by leaving us reviews. And that does help. Every little one helps. So we do encourage that. Thank you for those who have. But it's been my fault that we haven't been doing the mailbag because we hadn't received mail in so long that I almost forgot that we had some. So we do have a couple. So for the people who've been, writing us letters and stuff like that and then go, wow, they don't even respond to letters, that is 100% my fault because I have not been used to getting mail in the past few months. So therefore, I've just been not paying attention. So before I go into this arena, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull these up. Ark, I might have to have you read them, though.
If you want to, sure.
Yeah, Ark, I'm going to have you read them. So I think first off, we had a iTunes review. Or no, we didn't have that. It's not the first one. All right, I'll let you go first. It's from a longtime YouTube listener, Midnight Geek. So thank you so much, man. But Ark, go ahead.
Enjoyed the podcast show, as always. So any thoughts on Homestead launch with no ability to craft or purchase in-game or crown store additional storage, or mannequins to store armor sets? Quite disappointing for me, I have to admit. Any speculation that storage display might come in a future patch? Best regards.
This spawned from our Homestead podcast. I mean, he wrote a comment on our YouTube page, which I do read all of those comments, so I tend to respond to them there, but I liked his question, so I said I was going to talk about it on the show, and I just have been lax because I almost forgot that we get mail. I know there's been some talk with housing and stuff like that, and we even talked about it, where there are some missed opportunities with housing. And I'm not calling ZOS out on one thing or the other. They have opportunities to make this better. So, yes, I do think that there will be more options with housing coming in the future, things that you'll be able to do. It's my hope that they continue to expand on it and that this is not the last we see of Homestead. And I'm not talking just about adding new homes, which obviously I feel like they need to do, but they need to continue to expand the system. There were a couple things that I wasn't even aware that they were doing at first until after we read it, like the ability to have a crafting station that learns other crafting sets. So like you could take it out and learn how to craft, I don't know, Hunding's Rage, and you could put it in your house. Like that's really cool. Something that I didn't think that they were going to have. But in terms of storage, I understand that with the Elder Scrolls games, a lot of what we did in our houses was just store everything, right? But I do feel like housing should have came with some sort of storage. I don't feel like this was something that would... How do I want to phrase this? If people were complaining that they couldn't afford housing for whatever reason, which I don't feel like that's an adequate response, since it's not like there's limited houses where if you didn't have the money, you can't get it ever. Save up and buy it just like you would bag space. But with the quest that allows you to get an apartment right off the bat, even if that provided storage increase, great. And I think it would be pretty neat that, like, if you bought a house, you got more storage either from a bank, which should be accessible from your house, which I'm hoping they do. Which I think they said you could if you had the followers, the assistants. Thank you, that they'll be able to be in your house. And I honestly think like the apartment should give you a little bit, and then the small houses should give you more, medium, and you can stack it up. So let's say you get 10 extra bank slots for owning the apartment, 20 extra bank spots for owning the small house, 30 for the medium, 50 for the large, and then 100 for like the manor. Right there's an extra. You would be able to double your bank space, because right now it maxes out at like 200. Imagine that you get 10 for the apartment, 20 for the small house, which then brings it up to 30 total, because this is cumulative. Now it's not for every house you buy; you just one of each type would unlock it. 30 for the medium house, which brings you up to 60, 40 for the large, or however I said it. Like, you can max it out. I said that wrong. But 150. You know, you could max it out or double or whatever and make it so that if people are buying houses, then it does increase your storage. And I think that's something that with the amount of money, it should happen, and it would encourage people to increase your storage. I mean, it's bank, it's account wide, all your people can do it. I hope that comes in the future, and I think that's something they will work on. I don't know why it wasn't at launch. For something as simple as that, other than people going, I can't ever afford the big houses. But again, I mean, the cost of doing any of this stuff is expensive. Like, even upgrading your bank and your bag normally is a good bit of money. So, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't tie houses to it. Because, again, it's not like some of the older MMOs where there was limited house space, like Ultima Online, where it was all open world housing, where there was only room for a certain number of houses on a server, and if you didn't get it, then you were out of luck, right? That's not how this game is. It's instance houses, so as you get the money, you could get the extra space. I kind of hope that's something that comes forward, but I do hope that they advance the system going forward. One of the things that I'm hoping that they do, and that you could do in Skyrim, is a garden. Either like an indoor garden or...
roots.
Well, yeah, like stuff like that. Like being able to plant things in a greenhouse, whether it be... And I think they should actually do it both inside and outside. Like, all houses can have a greenhouse. The larger your house, obviously, the bigger greenhouse you can have, so you can grow reagents you need for crafting potions. That'd be another reason to have a house, right? I mean, and you could tie it so that it takes time. You plant, you can harvest once a day or however long you want to do it, so it's not too overbalanced. But I mean, it's something you could do. I mean, there are safe holds you do, so people can't be like, oh, I have every house, and every house has a greenhouse. So, and honestly, I don't even care about that. I think they should, but there are things you could do if that became a problem where, oh, the economy's now wrecked because people with every house in the game can just, roll around and grab plants. I mean, technically speaking, is that even as efficient as just running around exploring? I don't know.
Not at all. I mean, if it was just a daily, let's say you can plant 10 whatever plants you want to plant, and if it's a daily harvest...
Yeah, like you could only do it once a day. You go in, you pick it up.
I mean, you can get 10 columbines, which is usually the rarest, the most rare ingredient in alchemy. It's expensive, I don't know.
No, it's used for a lot of... the problem is it's used for a lot of things. So.
You can get 10 of those in an hour if you just run around in Rift or something like that.
Right.
So, no.
I mean, and again, with the amount of money you spend in housing, I mean, that's the way it goes. Like, I think that'd be great, and that's something I hope they do, where they allow you to have greenhouses. And the bigger houses that have, like, outside courtyards allow you to put a small garden out there. Now, those, I think, should be provisioning items. Like, the greenhouse is where you get your alchemy items. So every house can have, like, a small greenhouse. And obviously, the bigger the house, the bigger the greenhouse that you could have. But you could then also have a farm out in your courtyard if that's something you wanted to do. You didn't even have to, but you could build a farm, and then you could have crafting materials growing out there, radishes, carrots, whatever you wanted, you could grow.
I feel like they are holding back on these, from storage to adding a garden or whatever, either on purpose, because they want to release them sometime later to, keep the, keep the hype going, or the level of ESO Plus subscriptions going for a consistent time.
Right.
Or they just didn't... It was taking too long, and they didn't want to hold the housing back for so long, and they just cut the features and released it on this.
Oh, and someone in chat just said, "Oh, our start a mine, like being able to go in and like choose to put a mine entrance in your house, so you can go down into a cave, and it would have a certain number of fixed nodes that you could get." Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they could do with housing, and so I really do feel like ZOS is going to plan on expanding housing over time. Mm-hmm. I think it would be a massive mistake if they left housing the way it is. I mean, this is a good start. Like, people are going to get their houses, they're going to decorate, it's going to be great. But eventually, like, it would be a big misstep on their part if they literally just left it at this, and maybe even just adding only new houses, I still think is a mistake. Like, why would you not want to expand a system that you have like this, right? It makes sense, at least in my eyes.
I guess we'll see. I mean, there might even be some information about these regarding housing system expansions in the road ahead from Matt Firor in a couple of weeks. But
absolutely, something that hopefully we get to see. Yeah. Thank you again, Midlight Geek, for that. We'll say it's an email, but that comment. So thank you so much. And again, I apologize. This should have happened. Well, last week we didn't have a show, but it should have actually happened the week before, and I completely forgot. So a lot of these emails are about a month behind, almost a month, and that's 100% my fault. So I do encourage people to send us emails, either contact@dungeoncrawlernetwork.com or on our website, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There is a contact us page where you can then just send us a message. So check that out, and I do encourage people to send us mails. It's been so long that this is why I forgot about it.
This next one is, I hope I don't butcher it, Le Plante, which is a 5-star review. I believe it's from iTunes.
It is. It's iTunes.
So thank you very much for that. Amazing community show. Love seeing Tales of Tamriel weekly. Amazing crew and very entertaining to watch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Plante, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, it's French. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate those kind words and the review. Like I said, those are a great way of supporting Dungeon Crawler Network and this podcast by leaving us a review, because that increases our ratings and how we are searched. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
And this one, it doesn't say who this one is from.
Let me take a look here real quick.
Okay.
It just says it says it in the email, but this is actually a message. This is actually an email we got. And it's from Ken. So you can go ahead and read that. Yeah, I didn't put it in there because he said who he was in there. Yeah. And obviously, I wasn't going to disclose the name on the email, obviously. So I just let the introduction as it was.
So it's titled Transmogrification, Styling Fix.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Ken from North Carolina. Love the podcast and love the Elder Scrolls Online. Here's my question. Why don't we have transmogrification? Transmog has made its appearance in many games these days. Why hasn't ESO implemented this great tool? I personally like my character to look a certain way with best in slot gear, if I can, but those two are hard to combine. Yeah, the costumes are cool, but what are we supposed to do with all these great motifs?
Yeah,
they're only really viable when running crafted gear. I myself, 1 second, I'll expand this.
Yep.
They're only really viable when running crafted gear. I myself base a character around an overall theme, and it sucks when I have all the necessary gear to be great, but I look like a hunter, mage, priest, knight. With transmog, they could truly make the motifs shine, thus creating a whole subcategory for crafters if they wish.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, all those master crafters can become important once again by allowing crafters to create a sort of V-style stone scroll. just food for thought. Let me know what you think.
I 100% agree with you. And this is something where obviously, the best in slot, like a lot of people who have to run best in slot are subject to whatever that gear looks like. They have no choice because a lot of it's either drop sets or whatever the case may be. So you can't use the crafted styles a lot of times because it's like, hey, what am I going to do, right? Because crafted styles, while a lot of them are good, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are just supplementary. And even if you are running crafted, right, it's almost impossible to get away from monster sets because of how good monster sets are. So that is very hard. So unless you're running 100% crafted, which very few builds are able to do without, completely nerfing their effectiveness, yeah, I agree. And the motifs are something that are great in this game. Like, I love the motifs. So many different styles you can do, but you can't actually do a whole lot with them because of how the game currently is. It would be very neat, and again, this is something for Zos that would make a good cash shop item, which, is on, make it in game too. Do it like the XP scrolls. Allow master crafters to be able to craft a style stone, like you said, that will essentially, people can get their best in slot gear, and then a crafter can make a style stone, right? That you could then, essentially pick or, craft the style, go like, I can put in a mercenary mode, like the whatever the mercenary one is, the laurel, and combine it with some ingredients and make a stone that will change the appearance of any item you currently have on to that style or that weight, that look, right? You could then also make it so that you could then just directly buy these stones, like the crafting stones you currently have, or even have those crafting stones, the mimic stones, have a dual purpose. Either serve as a styling motif, or allow anyone who buys a mimic stone to be able to then take that mimic stone, use it on a piece of item or piece of gear, and go, what do I want it to look like? And you can then pick from a list of all the styles that you either know or whatever, and change the way it looks. And hopefully when they do these changes, it's not just tied to style, but also weight. Because I'm sorry, I like the heavy armor look, and I'm not real fond of most of the other weights, so let me change that weight. What does it really matter? Because I know some people were complaining, like, oh, if I can't see the weight of gear that people have on, then in PvP it's going to be ineffective. I won't be able to tell well, you're not going to be able to tell if they wear a costume. If they're wearing a costume, that takes over all of their look anyway, so you're in the same boat. Like, Zos has already essentially made that choice, going, listen, we're not going to allow you to make, or we're not going to let that decide what people look like in PvP. So, my son's not very happy. It's close to his bedtime, so he's not happy. So there's that. I honestly think that transmogrification is hopefully something that we see on the road ahead. I think that would almost be necessary. Not necessary, but it would be an amazing quality of life change. And something that they could put in for like a quality of life DLC patch, and I think a lot of people would accept that very, very well. Maybe doing a smaller DLC patch similar to Shadows of the Hiss, where they release dungeons but also include the transmogrification. I would accept that as a DLC.
I would too.
I think that would be completely viable as a DLC. All right, I think that's the end of our mailbag. Ark, do you have anything you want to say? Again, before I do that, thank you so much for those who emailed in, left us notes. Please continue to do so. I really appreciate it, and I will be keeping a closer eye on this in the future, so I will not go so long again without seeing this, and I apologize to those who I accidentally left out in the cold for a month. That was my fault. So hopefully we get more mail for Tales. So Ark, anything you want to say?
As final thoughts.
Yeah.
Or
Final
okay,
thoughts. We're done. We're out.
Well, hopefully I'll have more tales next week.
Yeah, since that's going to be the main premise of our
yeah.
show going forward.
I'll pour in some questing time in Elder Scrolls Online. Stop grinding. Stop farming.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anyway because I keep getting wrong traits. That doesn't sell. I'll hopefully be less sleepy. Something.
Yep.
Other than that, yeah, it's been a fun show as usual.
Yeah.
I got to Redguard dance on the stream, which is always nice. So yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Yep. And depending on the show, we might go back. We're obviously not going to give up our normal format with the video and everything of that nature, but we just made special circumstances. But I'll actually probably add more gameplay, not just screenshot kind of stuff in the future. So just keep that in mind as well. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who was listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening, downloading, watching us on YouTube, all that fun stuff. So make sure you follow us. Check out our website, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. Again, thank you so much, Arkhaniir, for showing up and being here with me for this podcast. You're always here, and even when you're tired. So thank you so much. Thank you to all of our fans who watch the show, listen, and part of our guild. So thank you. Have a great evening, and we will see you next time on Tales of Tamriel. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
The serpent lights the ancient sky of bread of tainted stars. Evil stirs, and in its wake the souls of mortals sway. Sorrow reigns over fields of red, and spirits pace through the shadows cast by their grace. These are days and nights of venom and blood. Heroes will rise as the anchors fall. Brave the strive, reclaim every soul that belongs to the beauty of dawn. Darkness strikes to blind the strong, but faith will guide our swords. Loyal hearts will stand as one and fight with shields of hope. Pride feels the deadly fire that devours our tower of gold. The drums of war will rend and roar till the sun burns bright once more. These are days and nights of venom and blood. Heroes will rise as the anchors fall. Brave the strong, reclaim every soul that belongs to the beauty of dawn.